There was still some time before the so-called Cell Games began, so Turles decided to go and check up on the Capsule Corp lot. Tights was staying with her family at the time, so it was a good excuse to see her. His surprise was quite immense, as when he had arrived there, he was informed about something that Bulma and good old Dr. Briefs were working on. They were repairing Android 16. What? What were they thinking, he thought. When they took a short break, Turles demanded answers. Bulma, what is that thing doing here? He has nowhere to go. He'll help us against Cell, she said. The pirate could not believe his own ears. And you just trusted it? Lakase was there and cleared his throat loudly. Not wanting to interrupt the conversation, mighty Turles, but you know a thing or two about gathering allies in weird places, right? Rasen nodded. We were all one big walking risk at some time. And this machine guy over there, well, he's pretty tame by comparison. Bulma didn't want to argue with Turles. She was kind of tired as well. Look, you better speak to Tights about this. She's also got something important to tell you. What? Hey, wait! Sorry, my break's over. I gotta go and get this android up and running. See you later! Incredible. He was gone for just a day, and now everyone just thinks they can boss him around like this. He decided to approach Tights, who was deep in thought. Can you believe it? He said. They're just repairing one of our enemies. This mechanical maniac's a huge risk to us all. Tights smiled slightly. Just like a certain space pirate who fell from the sky? The Saiyan just groaned at that. Oh, and I think he turned out okay. She winked. Anyway, Bulma told me that you wanted to talk to me about something important. What is it? This time it was Tights whose mood shifted to slightly annoyed. My sister always couldn't keep her mouth shut. Oh boy. She looked at him worried, uncertain. He really wasn't able to read all of her moods that well though. He was still just as puzzled. What? What is it? So, I really hope you'll survive this Cell Games thing. I mean, didn't you before? Is it only now that you start to care? He was starting to get a little bit annoyed about this. No, I don't want to tell you, but there's gonna be 3 of us pretty soon. 3 of us? What do you mean? Then it hit him. Yeah, I'm gonna be a dad, Turles. If silence could scream, it would have done so right then in shock. It was only slightly broken, this mood, by Lakase, who came in to get some milk for his coffee. Oh, Miss Tights, I see you shared the news with the captain. Congratulations, you two. Wait, you knew? Who else knew before me? Turles started shaking one of his scientists. Mighty Turles, please! Most Capsule Corp people, ow! You're spilling my coffee, Captain! He paused for a second. He didn't know what to feel right now. He wasn't particularly good at stuff like this at the best of times, but he was now living on Earth, so should he be feeling a sense of pride? Well, I mean, Gohan as a half Saiyan was pretty impressive, and so was Trunks in the future, so maybe Saiyan hybrids had potential. So, yeah, maybe he too could have powerful offspring. But it wasn't like Planet Vegeta, where it was mostly nursing capsules. He himself was living on the streets. So does that mean that he should be present in his child's life, unlike he would have done on Planet Vegeta? I mean, this is how it was done here on Earth, though, so maybe yeah? I mean, even Kakarot, oblivious as he was, tried to do his best in that regard, but could he even do that? Could he be a good dad? I thought you'd be more excited. Tights seemed puzzled. No, Tights, don't get me wrong, I am. And then he admitted something he had never done to anyone in his entire life. But I'm also absolutely terrified. He gave her a kiss on the forehead, something that he had never done before either. I'll be right back, I just need some air. And he went outside to vent. There were so many thoughts whirling across his head, and after some time, he was joined by Dr. Briefs. So what, man? Are you done with the android? Yeah, Bob was almost done with removing his explosive device, just in case. So, looks like you're not completely out of your mind. The doctor chuckled. So I heard. You already know. Do you mind if I smoke? No, not at all. I was talking to Tights. Oh yeah, this is your daughter. Listen, if you're mad at me, Tights is a grown woman, Turles. It's her own life. Besides, me and Pancha are kinda happy to have another grandchild walking around. How are you holding up yourself? Turles looked at the street and some hover cars that had just passed them. I honestly don't know. I'm a Saiyan, and as you may have noticed, we're not the greatest parents. The doctor laughed slightly. I mean, Vegeta didn't even try. And Goku, I think he does his best, you know? Turles sighed. I guess that's true. How about two, Briefs adjusted his glasses. I'd like to try. Sounds like a challenge, though. I grew up on the streets with a band of kids that just, like me, were considered to be too unruly to do anything. But I don't know how I... Want to know a secret, Turles? Nobody knows. Me? When Tights was about to be born, I completely panicked. I didn't know what to do. And I'm one of the smartest people on the planet. That's when I started smoking, you see. You? Stressed? I can't imagine you stressing over anything, Doc. No, it's true. Punchy was the calm one in this matter. And yes, we had some mishaps here and there, but we managed. And it was easier with Bulma and later with Boxer. Box... who? Dr. Briefs looked confused for a second. Turles also seemed as if he had just forgotten the last thing that the doctor had said. Anyway, the old man continued. No one is prepared to be a good dad with their first kid. They don't come with instruction manuals, you know. I mean, I tried making one, but it's no use. Family just doesn't work like that. All I can say is just believe in yourself, kiddo. You've come a long way since you arrived, and I'd be glad to have you as part of our family. Oh, there's that word. Family. Never had one. Always thought it was some sentimental nonsense. But I was better off on my own. And what do you think about that now? Turles smirked. I'm glad that Goku blew that damn tree up all those years ago. Dr. Briefs chuckled. Hey, Doc. The older man said as he finished his cigarette. Thanks. No problem, son. No problem. The sun was starting to set when they finished this conversation. Tights was sitting in the living room, putting on a very brave face, but still quite anxious on the inside. Just like Turles, the Saiyan approached her. Hey, did you get enough air, or did my dad send all of the smoke your way? I swear we need to make him give up those blessed things. Hey, cut your old man some slack. Yeah, I had some rather enlightening thoughts. Care to share? I've organized heists to planetary vaults, ran away from the Galactic Patrol many times, survived on the streets, fought the Emperor of the literal known universe. So taking care of a kid, it shouldn't be that scary, right? She smirked. Don't get too cocky, Turles. It's a huge responsibility. Oh, I can imagine. But hey, this will be yet another thing where I plan to beat Vegeta at. Really? Your motivation is some contest between you and the prince? Tights closed the book. Hey, just joking. Don't shoot the messenger, babe. Although, if I do exceed, that will be actually something to make note of. Besides, this kid will not turn out to be worse than me, right? She sighed and leaned on him, opening the book again. They spent some time together in silence, as they usually liked to. Then Tights fell asleep. He heard someone moving around the complex, so he covered her with a blanket and went to check out the situation. It seemed that it was Bulma watching Android 16 move around after he had been repaired. The giant automaton spotted Turles and looked puzzled at him. Tights' sister also gave him a knowing look, expecting that he was most likely here to start a brawl or something. Hey, don't worry, I'm not here to fight. Can I talk to the Iron Giant over here for a second? I promise not to start anything if he doesn't. Bulma watched him carefully, but nodded after a while. You fine with that, big guy?
Affirmative.
Alright. Let's go for a walk, 16. Turles led 16 outside behind the house. Alright, so what's your deal? What are your plans? Turles started the conversation.
Currently, my main focus is to eliminate Cell, as he has obliterated my family.
And what about your mission to kill Son Goku? Is that still around?
It is true that it is part of my programming, but for now, it is not a priority. I am focusing on Cell. It is nothing personal.
Turles pondered about that for a while. So you don't plan to threaten anybody on Earth?
Confirmed. Even though my programming is quite definitive about Son Goku being my target, I do not wish to harm anyone on this planet.
Turles looked at him with a narrow gaze. You know, I resemble Son Goku. Would I be classified as a target?
Negative. I was created specifically to eliminate an individual known as Son Goku.
You mentioned something about not wanting to harm anyone. Why? There was a longer pause here. Come on, machine. I used to be a threat to this planet as well. Maybe I might understand.
There were things that my programming did not prepare me for.
Turles raised his eyebrow but allowed the android to continue.
Life in the world has an uncanny beauty to it. Something that allowed me to feel outside of my programming. I know this might sound improbable, but I find myself enthralled by the purity of nature and the people of this world. I should not be able to perceive the world like that. Not by design at least, but here we are.
Another long pause. Okay. I believe you, machine. But know one thing, okay? These people, He widened his arms, showing him Capsule Corp. Well, I guess they're my family. And if you put them in harm's way, I will not hesitate to prioritize their safety over your existence. You got it. There was no pause.
Affirmative.
Almond would like you, you know. Maybe after all this is over, I'll introduce you to.
I fail to see a connection.
Two big burly guys with soft ears. You know what, never mind, you're a work in progress. But hey, welcome to the team, I suppose. And from now on, there was no bad blood between the two. Turles still didn't trust 16 completely, but at least he tolerated his presence, and Bulma was thankful for that. Vegeta and Trunks had by now left the time chamber, with the younger Saiyan being slightly concerned about his father. Turles was quite sure that the prince was avoiding him in Kakarot. The day had arrived, the day of the Cell Games. Surprisingly, Vegeta was the first to arrive, with 16 and Turles being second and third respectively. So it seems like the old man and Bulma repaired the thing. They wasted their time then, Turles shrugged. I don't know, he's kinda grown on me. He would, because you like to collect weird mismatched losers. I wouldn't say that, because you're not my crew yet, Vegeta. Vegeta only hissed at him when the three of them were finally acknowledged by the host himself. Oh, we have our first combatants. Vegeta, Turles, nice to see you here. And 16! Oh, I almost forgot you existed! The android didn't respond to the taunt. Now, let's wait for the real important people, shall we? Vegeta was burning inside from anger, and Turles could feel that. Don't let the Bugman provoke you, Prince. Shut up! But before every single Dragon Team member had arrived on the scene, a loudmouth man with a huge afro had appeared. Apparently, he was there to expose Cell as a phony or something. And Turles could swear he saw that guy before on Earth's visual entertainment device. Television? But he couldn't remember exactly from where. But that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.